Hello, today we are here to discuss Kimberly Perez, who is a 15-year-old ninth grade student at Princeton High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Kimberly is identified in her most recent ETR as being a student with a learning disability. This learning disability manifests itself in the areas of reading comprehension, writing, and mathematics. On her most recent ETR, Kimberly was administered a series of assessments to determine her current levels of functioning and if she continues to qualify for special education services. The first assessment that she was given is what's called the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children, 4th edition, which is the most recent and updated edition of that test. Within the state of Ohio, it is the most widely used assessment tool. It measures the following areas such as verbal comprehension, perceptual reasoning, working memory, and then also processing speed of a student. What we found through this assessment is that Kimberly has a full-scale IQ score of 75, which puts her in roughly the average range. A scale below 70 is typically said to have what they call cognitive delays, which is multiple areas of delays, and an IQ between 70 and 100 is typically considered to be on the average range. So according to this score of 75, we can see that Kimberly is working in the low average range. The next assessment that was given to her was an academic achievement assessment that was measured through the Woodcock-Johnson assessment, which determines scores in reading, writing, and math. The tests are based on her age, and the tests that she's given are to determine if she would continue to benefit from special education services and where her current levels of functioning are. So judging by what we saw in those tests, she scored roughly in the low average to low area for those three assessments. So she does continue to qualify for goals and special education services in the areas of reading, writing, and mathematics. For her social, emotional, and behavioral health, which is another assessment that is often given when a school psychologist completes an ETR, we see that the teachers did not use a formal assessment in regards to a formal test. They used observations of what they had seen in the classroom. And one of the things that was noted in that assessment was that Kimberly tends to struggle in social situations. While yes, she is in the low average range for her intelligence level and for her levels of functioning, when it comes to social skills, she does seem to lack in that area. It was noted that she does have a close group of friends that she hangs out with on a regular occasion, but that in the classroom, Kimberly rarely talks to anyone. She will speak and say hello to her teacher, but she will not ask questions. She will not raise her hand to participate in class, and that she is very quiet within the classroom. So this was noted as an area of development for Kimberly. Speech language does not apply to her, but adaptive behavior. When it comes to adaptive behavior, which are basically real life skills or daily living skills that a student would use in the real world, they used what's called the Vineland Adaptive Behavior Skill Assessment. And we found that some of her scores were higher than the others, and that we could assume that areas of weakness for her would be such things where she has to interact with others, as she does seem to have social skills that are lower than where we would like them to be. So what we found was that while she is functioning at the level of her same age peers, in some regards, in regards to her social skills, that's an area where we continue to need to work with her on. Observations. Kimberly was observed in the classroom. She was observed for a time limit of 30 minutes by the school psychologist. And it was noted that Kimberly was very compliant in following directions, and she actively took notes in the classroom. She did not want to answer questions out loud, and she was somewhat shy with other students. but she was noted as being a hardworking student that was able to complete tasks without issues, and there were no behavioral concerns that were noted for her. So again, we see that when we look at the strengths of Kimberly, we see that Kimberly is a very hardworking young lady. She works hard in the classroom, she takes notes, and she participates. We see that she gets along well with other students and that she gets along well with her teachers. While she may not be overly talkative or overly interactive with fellow students or with staff, she is very compliant, actively takes notes, and works hard in the classroom. So we do know that she needs to continue to develop those skills. So in developing those skills, we need to put a goal in place to help her get there to where we would like her to be socially. This could be in addition to the goals that she will have in reading, writing, and mathematics. Kimberly continues to qualify for these goals on her IEP through what we see in her ETR, the scores that we've seen, and the observations that we've made in the classroom. So this concludes our description of Kimberly.